I think that there is a huge significance in that it's Shakespeare's last play. He never actually really says, you know, this is wrong and this is right, but he kind of just presents things and truths about the world and kind of lets you decide, and that's one of the reasons why he is so universal and so everlasting.
I absolutely think Shakespeare's final play had a lot of significance. It is somewhat a culmination of all of his genres. He brings together his romance, his magic, his history, and his very clear point of view of what he feels about the world and how he underlays his bigger points and his bigger issues through his whimsical ways and witty writing and very fun tongue-in-cheek situations, but I think have a much larger picture.
This play, of course, has significance for being Shakespeare's last play. It's widely believed, for one, because when they made the folio, we're not completely sure if when they were redoing all of the words, if they were exactly what Shakespeare had originally made them. And this play was the last one that was done, and it's the first one that they put right on the folio because all of the words were there. So it's that one play that you could be like, this is 100% everything Shakespeare.
I think at the end when Prospera lays down her staff, it's Shakespeare's last play, his last performance as a playwright. He's putting it down. This is the end of that, and it's sort of letting that magic sort of like refract in the ether of today. And I think that's why it's so timeless, is that he's setting that down and he's allowing us to embrace that text, that language, that story.
At the end of the play, Prospera relinquishes her powers. She has the power to control people, to make them do her bidding for her. She has, you know, she has Ariel, she has Caliban working for her, but at the end, she sets them free. She gives up her powers. She passes it all along. And I think that could be seen as a metaphor for a playwright saying, the play is yours now, you know, giving it over to the world. You can do with it what you will. I don't control these words anymore. They're yours. Make them your own.
It changes it completely. What is looked at as the standard for this role, which is a white male. Instead of it being like this patriarchal idea, I give a maternal spirit to the island. The direction that I'm going with this character is single black mother because that's what I relate to.
It doesn't change that much because you still, the core drama that Alonzo is going through is that she's still an adult who has lost her child, a parent who has lost her child. And that grief that she goes through, that's still there. That's not going to change whether it's Alonzo as father or Alonza as mother. And in fact, it's probably actually a little bit more heart-wrenching because it's a mother who has lost her child. And I think there's a lot of stories that we tell now a society where the grief is stronger because it's a mother who wasn't able to save her little boy. I
think that you can have a female authoritative figure. We have them all over the place. I think it speaks to the current day and age. I'm a big cheerleader, rooter for females in power. I was raised by a woman. There's a lot of strong females in my life, so that was a very easy thing for me to cling to. Women are just as equal as men. There should be more roles for women in the theater, and this is another way that we can sort of change that tide.
So, like, when was this play written? Not when we were around. It wasn't written anywhere when we were around, but here in 2018, I am just putting in, I'm putting in all of my Deanna-ness. It allows you to put yourself into the role. I have flavor. I'm very raw. You know, I like my food seasoned. And so that's what I initially put into the role.
I think the most important thing for me is finding a way to personalize it for myself. Because once I've made it personal, now it becomes worth something to me. So showing that to an audience, it carries a bigger impact. And if I have made it personal for me, hopefully it becomes personal for the audience. And especially when playing a character who in the original text is written as a pure villain, and in this we've given him a bit of a conscience. Hopefully they don't just see Antonio as a mustache-twirling villain. Instead, they can understand a little bit more about this person because we have personalized the character into ourselves.